Hello, good folks. Happy Saturday. I just wanted to share a message. There is a certain energy that I am in today, and I just wanted to share in this energy, especially because we live in a day and time where a lot of people are trying to place people in boxes, right? On this episode of Do Not Place Me in a Box, right? For those people who share in my energy, who resonate with me, the people who have subscribed. Let me say again, much thanks given unto you. I appreciate your presence. Those of you who resonate with my energy and those who are present. Those of you who have left me comments, whether they were agreeing comments with feedback, different things and pointers. As people may be able to see, I'm very new to this online thing and this YouTube thing. I have shared some of my story. I wasn't able to share in the interview that I did recently. But I have a very, I have a very unique and interesting story. Maybe I'll share it one day here. But for those souls and those people who resonate with my energy, those of you who are multifaceted, multi-layered, multi-dimensional beings, I really appreciate your presence and being tapped in with me, as a lot of us tend to be that way. I wanted to share some things that I resonate with, especially as it relates to African traditions or African spirituality. It's very where I am. Very happy Saturday to everybody that come across this video. Hopefully your Saturday is beautiful as mine has been, as beautiful as mine will continue to be. As it always actually is going to be. There's some things that I wanted to share as far as the energy goes. African spirituality is some things that I am studying currently, is some things that I have been studying recently. So I've been studying, some people, if you haven't followed me, may have noticed that I share some things as it relates to the African traditions that I've been studying, the Yoruba traditions and Ifa, to be specific. And I want to share in this because in this energy and what I'm interested in, and of course, as I said, what I have been studying, because this is what I resonate with. People like to try to put people in a box, or they like to try to label people, and some of us is just, people try to study and they really try to figure out, some people, but they can't quite figure them out. I don't think that all of us are meant to be totally and absolutely figured out, and just respect the fact that we are multifaceted people. So what I have learned is that I resonate a lot, like a lot of people who follow Yoruba or Ifa traditions. A lot of people, they say that they are the child of Oshun, and then some people say like Shango and things. I will say what I feel as though I resonate with, and I do feel as though I resonate a lot with Oshun, but I also feel like I resonate with Yemoja as well. Yemeya, or Yemeya, aka Yemeya, who is the African water god. She is said to be the African water god. So some traits about Yemoya major water spirit from the Yoruba tradition. She is the mother of all Orishas, also the mother of humanity. She is said to be motherly and strongly protective, and to care deeply for all of her children, comforting them and cleansing them of all sorrow. She is said to be able to cure infertility in women, and cowrie shells represent her wealth. She does not easily lose her temper, but when angered, she can be quite destructive and violent. As the floodwaters of turbulent rivers, some of the priests believe that she used her fresh water to help Obatala in the molding of humans out of clay. I like that story. I think that is pretty cool. Let me see. And then it further talks about how she's depicted as a mermaid associated with water, feminine mysteries, and the moon. She is the protector of women. She governs everything pertaining to women, parenting, child safety, love and healing. According to the myth, when her waters broke, it caused a great flood, creating rivers and streams, and the first mortal humans were created from her womb. Now, if some people have followed my content, in the recent past, I did also share that African spirituality, it predates most spiritual systems. These spiritual systems, they date back 2500 BC, approximately about 8,000 years ago. Some material actually states 10,000 years ago, to be more specific and exact. So those are some things that some of the traits that I resonate with as it relates to Yemoya. Her symbols is the water, cowrie shells, colored white, and crystal, which I thought was pretty neat, considering that I resonate with that. So I just thought that I share, some things that I, feel as though I resonate with as it relates to the African spiritual traditions and some of the Orishas. Because again, people like to put people in boxes, or say, they should be certain ways. And I am a strong believer that there is a time and a place for certain energies and certain presence, whether that be a strong presence, whether that be soft loving, and something like Iwapile, which is the gentle spirit, peace, love, and light, and all of that good stuff. But some people tend to get it confused, and they think that spirituality is all peace, love, and light, and that there is that we're not in the middle of a spiritual war. So just things to consider, as the reason why I'm intentionally making this video message, to share with the people who are interested and want to get to know a little bit of who Queen Bree is. Another one of the Orishas that I resonate with is Oya, and some of the things that is said about Oya is she inseparably accompanies Shango, maintains the union between earth and heaven, assists us in achieving prosperity. She represents the duality. This is a big one. She represents the duality between masculine and feminine. And there's a lot of women who do. But again, as I said before, I'm going to say again, there is a time and a place for certain energies, and a certain presence and a certain response. Sometimes there's no response. Sometimes something calls for a response. But we're living in a day and time where, I said, we're living in a day and time, but when I really think about it, I think that a lot of us, I think that a lot of us are only doing what our purpose is, and just expressing who we naturally are. And the beautiful thing about that is you don't have to perform, or you don't have to put on an act. You can literally just be yourself, and then let your people find you. People that resonate with you will gravitate towards you. I was going to say we're living in a time where we need more people who are going to speak truth and truth to power, and knowledge, and people who are not afraid to speak truth, but people who are going to represent, people who are going to be present, but a strong presence, people who have a strong aura, who have a strong energetic force, a strong energetic vortex. Their whole paradigm, their whole world, and their whole universe, universe, is going to be a very strong presence that's very needed in this time, especially because there's a lot of systems that are breaking. We talk about the corporate system. We talk about, the system in general, even such as the corporation called America. But if we're being absolutely honest, let's talk about it. The family system or the family structure is totally broken and has dissipated. So the first level of stability in community and nation building, and if the strong people and the leaders of the world are going to be able to build properly, it's going to start at home and it's going to start in the community, right? So, as I said, I was going to say we're living in a day and time, but it's not even really living in a day and time. Maybe this message me making that statement may spark something in someone who may come across this video and become motivated, become inspired, right? Maybe give them a little bit of courage to help them to get up and find that power that they need. But the fact of the matter is, when you're living out your purpose and you're doing what you feel called to do, it's just like you're kind of living out our ancestors' prayers. So you're naturally being yourself authentically and doing the things that you are called by spirit to do, what you are spirit led to do. That's a beautiful thing, Ashe. So she represents the duality between masculine and feminine. Certain situations dictate certain things. This wind feels so good. The only complaint that I have at this time is that it's blowing my pages of notes. And it almost knocked my camera over and my water bottles and things. But it's a beautiful Saturday. The day has been beautiful. Networking with beautiful people, being around beautiful people, attracting beautiful people, being, beautiful in spirit and things. It's just interesting because some people feel as though the way that some people treat is maybe a little bit too much for my life. It is. Because sometimes we're just not for everybody. Even when you do the work that where you want to serve and you want to do work for the people, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be received by everybody. So for those that can receive me well, and those that absolutely resonate with my content and my energy and just Queen Bree in general, I genuinely appreciate you, and I'm so thankful for your presence as I continue to be present and to figure out learning how to connect more with people and how to share my messages, as this is new. I am new to this, sharing in this way. More on Oya, besides the fact that she represents the duality between the masculine and the feminine. No shame there. It is estimated that she comes from the land of Mai in Dahomey territory. Therefore, it is believed that his father is Nana Baruku and brother of Iroko and Babalu. Its energy manifests itself in everything that moves, even if it doesn't have feet. It lives in the abdomen and the parts that make the hand, arm, and foot move. In nature, it lives at the foot of the palm. It contributes to the communication between the two spheres of existence, that is, the superior spiritual plane and the inferior, the earthly plane. He is credited with the leadership of the air and consequently the regency of some atmospheric phenomena. Oya is a warrior goddess. Ashe. She commands the uncontrollable forces of nature and serves as the guardian of the gateway between life and death. Wow. You know, in the Christian faith, when I grew up Christian, you know, we would say things like God work in mysterious ways. So apparently the goddess does too. She controls, she commands the uncontrollable forces of nature and serves as the guardian of the gateway between life and death. So what I mean by this part is where I read and it said that he is credited with the leadership of the air and consequently the regency of some atmospheric phenomena. Now, you know, I've shared that I am a Libra, but the Libra is also the sign of the air element. And also, you know, here I am sitting in it. I'm sitting in the park and I'm just enjoying this beautiful day. And it's windy as all outdoors. And it's like, who turned on the fan? And it's a beautiful thing. You know, spirit communicates with us in so many different ways. And, you know, they say that spirit isn't everything, which is believable, but sometimes we can't. I have to say this because when you are interested in a certain level of spirituality, or if you're focused on a certain spiritual teaching, tradition, mythology, or whatever, I think that for those of us who like to share spiritual messages and how we resonate and relate, that it is our responsibility to also encourage people to be aware of the psychoses and how going too far down the rabbit hole or being too overly spiritual, how that may affect one in their mental, how that may affect them negatively in the mental space. Sometimes it can become too much, and sometimes you have to find that balance. Sometimes you have to step away from certain things and give yourself breaks here and there, and that's with any and everything. But the thing is sometimes people look for spiritual things and think that they're seeing signs in every little thing, and that can absolutely cause spiritual psychosis. So there's such a thing as spiritual psychosis. So we want to be very mindful of that. But what could be more spiritual right now besides the unseen force, the wind? So yeah, I said it's a beautiful day, and I was enjoying the wind, and you know, it's picking up and it's doing what it do. You know, Mother Nature is doing what it do. But I just thought that was interesting. But you know, the masculine and the feminine principle or aspects of not only the goddess, but of those goddesses or those queens, those powerful women who share in that and resonate with that energy and that likeness. On this episode of Don't Put Me in a Box, right? I think that's awesome. I think that it's amazing and it's beautiful, and it's also amazing and beautiful to find things that you resonate with because it reflects who you are. And when you know who you are, it's a powerful thing, because when people don't understand you, they can, you know, unintentionally either try to box you in or label you or tell you, you know, don't do this or don't do that. There is a need for a certain presence at certain times. And there is a need, you know, like there's a time for war, there's a time for peace. This is not insinuating anything. I am not trying to, what I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to make a point. There is a time for war. There is a time for peace. There is a time to lift your voice in power and to be assertive and to get a certain message across. There's a time for silence. There is a time for peace. There's a time for iwapile, you know? And, you know, most of the time, a lot of us, we do represent the gentle spirit, the good character, iwapile. Some situations is not going to call for iwapile. Some situations is going to cause for a different frequency, a different energy, and a different presence. So that's what this video is about. Just me sharing in authenticity with those who would like to share in this energy, who would like to share with me. So I don't want to make this too long. I just wanted to get on here and share some things that I resonate with, and maybe you guys resonate with some things that you can drop in the comments and share with me. What energies do you mostly resonate with? What is your dominant frequency? What is your default frequency? What spiritual systems are you tapped into that you study? What deities or gods or goddesses do you resonate with, and or are you interested in, or that you venerate and that you love? That would be so interesting to know what it is that you guys are into. Those of you who are following my content, those of you who have tapped in, again, I just want to tell you guys, thank you so much. Thank you for being present. Thank you for being here. For those of the people who I resonate with, whether, you know, that be just like spiritually connected on a spiritual level, the people who I connect with in different ways, I definitely am tapped in that way, spiritually understanding and being very grateful to spirit, divine spirit, and the Most High, that I am intentionally being connected with people, not only in the physical but in the unseen and spiritually. There's a lot of people that I connect with spiritually that be tapped in, and there's a lot of people who, you know, I would like to believe that like to tap into my energy just on a spiritual, you know, on the spiritual. So I know that there's a lot of people who are present, and again, the people who have commented. Also, don't forget to like my video, share it with people who you think will resonate with my energy and who will want to tap in with your girl and help me to grow my channel as an intention, because it's really a work in progress for me. And also comment on this video and let me know what deities or what it is that you're tapped in with spiritually. And yeah, don't forget to tell your people to subscribe as well. Subscribe, show your girl some love. And yeah, your engagement is much appreciated. I love you guys, and bona fide.